Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, March 4, 7:25, 24 a.m. Eastern Time. So this week is my birthday. I will take my kids to Disney, and I will be back on Monday night. So I will be out basically Friday and Monday, just to let you guys know. So let's do the morning call video, starting reviewing what I wrote in the market structure document, and let's compare what we have in the pre-market. So first of all, just to review, the DIX is jump 2%, print again above 44%, above 44% usually is bullish, below 44% usually is bearish. So they add liquidity. Somebody was market participants was willing to buy on Friday. Okay. In another hand, the GX drop around 1 billion, from 6 billion to 5 point something. Okay. So they start to accelerate the market. It's not, a big acceleration, but since they start to drop the GX, market will be easy to move. Consequently, you guys see like big candles, right? Because less money is necessary to move the market. What I put over here regarding, the volatility, implied volatility. My interpretation, that was much more reasonable, profitable to sell in the money put to buy in the money calls. Okay. Since we have higher volatility in call contracts. So if market since also we have higher GX, market tended to be with volatility tends to be suppressed. Consequently, since the structure is bullish, and we expecting a continuation of the trend, Friday trend, so put premium tends to be burning fast and furious. That was my interpretation. Okay, but the important are the levels. Okay, my interpretation doesn't mean that I'm right. I always say that. That's my interpretation. Remember that dealers, they have like very fast computers, robots that calculate premium better than I, right? Anyway, let's move to volatility skew. For volatility skew, 5,140 resistance, 5,135 support. Okay, that also matches with the gamma and delta. So we don't have too much discrepancy between, all how can I say, all the pieces of the puzzle. So they are, able to connect each other. So it's not like last week that we have like a huge discrepancy, between all the pieces of the puzzle. Okay. As I told you guys, if you open with a gap up, 5,140 tend to be a delta support. But future so far is not telling that. So 5,140 is the inflection point, and consequently the resistance that tend to be rejected. Okay? Because a lot of people are holding 5,140 calls. Remember that the market usually walk in the direction that causes more pain. Okay? So, and I also highlighted over here in this market wrap that's totally normal. We see market trend between 5,130, 5,135 up to 11 nm to burn, all the premiums at 4,140. And then you could see markets going up and break 4,140. Okay, that I also highlighted this in the market web. For gamma, the plus GX is at 5,150. I also highlight over here that I don't expect, a break at 5,150 today. I really don't expect a break. Okay, I expect a rejection. What you could see is a break at 5,140. I also highlighted over here, and close between 5,140 and 5,150. So that was like a bullish perspective that I put to you guys in the market web. But look what I said regarding the entire week. So looks like that 5,105 will be the maximum downside target. You'll be like the Bible region. So you're supposed to be like the region that they start to bring markets up again. I don't see in the book any structure that telling me that SPX tend to break down 5,105. Okay, so far in the book don't have any clue that we will break down 5,105. Okay, 5,150 is the major resistance. A lot of people is positioned with 5,150 calls strike. Consequently, it is the major resistance. What we have been seeing, especially in the last 2 weeks, weakness, SPX showing weakness starts on Monday, going up to Wednesday, burning all the deltas where they set up plus GX. So far, 5,150, since 2 weeks ago, is still the plus GX. So to break down 5,150, what usually they do? They bring the market down, burning all the premiums at 5,150, and backtest the minus GX, and they start to bring the market up, breaking the plus GX. So I also highlighted if you see a break at 5,150, so dealers tend to move the plus GX to 5,180, okay? And regarding the breaking down at 5,105, remember that during the intraday, we could see orders, that could make an influence in the market, bring up or down. You guys have been seeing this a lot. I have been, posting basically in real time all the orders that have been moving the market. So if they really decide to break down 5,105, I'm not looking markets breaking 5,075. For me, it's the worst case scenario. Okay? But for today, worst case scenario, Bible region, 5,150, 5,120. Okay? If they want to bring market down to burning premium and consequently after bring up, the worst case scenario, 1520. But per deltas, 5,130. That's almost very close from the volatility skill that's telling us 5,135. Okay, so monitor first for 5,130. Okay, because delta suggests a buyer, and worst case of 15 or 20. Regarding upside, as I said, I don't expect a break at 5,150 because the huge gamma exposure we have that region, and I expected a rejection at 5,140. So also highlighted in the summary, I'm just trying to repeating again. So that's totally normal to see markets, trade between 30, 35, or even going to backtest the worst case scenario up to 11 a.m. Burning out VANA, basically, using the VANA. VANA is poor volatility, bring implied volatility higher to put contracts, burning, all the premium at 5,140. And markets supposed to be prepared to break 5,140. So I also highlighted a possible movement that you could see today. Okay? But remember, the most important thing is to monitor all the levels. Okay? We also could see a sideways market, a market that, dealers you'll be much more focused to burning premium. Okay, this also could happen because why am I telling that? Because the implied volatility is not too high. So that's, you know, a good environment. Let me go to trade and let's check how the implied volatility is. But the implied volatility, today for the implied volatility is 14.71%. So the implied volatility for this week is not too high. So that's a good environment, you know, to burn premium. That's a good environment to burn premium. For those that you will looking for to trade zero DTE, just be careful. Okay, just be careful. You know, and also the GX is higher, so volatility tends to be suppressed. So we could see a week that dealers will use to burn premium, especially because the economic agenda is not so heavy. I guess we start on Wednesday, the jobless, the claim or whatever, but the economic agenda is not so heavy. We don't have more inflation data is coming up. Okay, so that's a good week to burn premium. Okay, but we already reviewed the levels. The most important thing is to work with the levels that dealers left in the book. So let's compare what we have right now and what they left on Friday. Let me close the market swap. Let me bring my spreadsheet here. Overall delta is still bullish. Positive gamma pattern, you guys know, buy the dip, buy weakness, sell rallies. 5,140 still the higher delta region, the region that we suppose be see a rejection. 5,150 still the plus GX, and the weakness starts below 5,120. So basically the levels is still the same. Okay, worst case scenario 1520, because the weakness starts at 15 at 20. Positive gamma pattern, buy weakness, sell rallies. Okay, so far rejection at 5,140, worst case scenario 5,120, but per deltas we could see buyers jumping between 35 and 30. Okay, especially 30. That's, you know, higher positive delta compared with 35. So the first support still the same, 5,130. Let's check the volatility skew. Volatility skew also so far is the same. 5,140 supposed to be the rejection. As soon as you break, you know, the out of the money calls imply volatility tend to jump, and consequently we could back test 5,150. But so far for 5,140 is the resistance, and 5,100 guess 35 is the support. Okay, but per deltas I like to see more deltas, because if you lose 35, right, you will back test 30, and that's where deltas buyers supposed to be jumping in. Otherwise 5,120. Okay, so the structure that they left Friday is still matching with the pre-market. So far market futures suggestions that we will open with 5 points gap down. We close at 5,137, so suggestions up open at 5,130 region. That where is delta telling us that's supposed to be the first level of support and the worst case scenario to end. Okay, let me get my spreadsheet back, and you guys will see here. Okay, 5,130. Okay, gotcha. So since you already reviewed the SP 500. Just remember the time that you could see markets, trading between 30 and 35 to burn 5,140. So the movement start, the real movement is supposed to be start after 11 a.m. Regarding Bitcoin, as I told you guys, I have been showing this a lot, a possible cup and handle formation where the major resistance, the weekly pivot, is located at 55,505. So we make like a fake break so far and come back down. Okay. Since I'm seeing a lot of euphoria, and as I told you guys, I guess, how can I say? I post, a possible rejection at 65,505 and backtest 48K or even 46. We have a big support over here at 46 and make a preparation and consequently, a formation of a cup and handle to Bitcoin break up 55,505 and consequently try to go to all-time highs, maybe 87, 110, whatever. A lot of people, I'm not a Bitcoin expert, those you guys have like a lot of famous people that monitor blockchain, liquidity, blah 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 blah. They are saying that Bitcoin will not provide a pullback anymore. Okay, I don't know if they are right, or I don't know if they are wrong as well. What I'm seeing is a possibility to form a beautiful cup and handle. So a pullback over here, this is the monthly graph. Monthly graph, as you see, is not overbought yet. So we have space to at least back that 67, 69 or going up to 70. That's totally normal because it's not overbought. Okay, but the amount of leverage that you have nowadays, also longs and also shorts, in my humble opinion, to clean it up first the longs, and also to form a bullish, pattern figure, you'll be really good to see a meltdown. Also, per standard, since the halving start next month in April, usually in the month before, we always see a meltdown, a flush. Usually this happens. This is like a pattern. But of course, nowadays things change. We have like a bunch of ETF, you have like lower liquidity. Maybe, we will not see such pullback. Okay? But the pattern is always to see a meltdown before the halving to clean it up the market, and then you see a rally. The difference between 2016 and 2020 is that in 2016 we saw Bitcoin crash and then 1 year just going up. The difference between 2016 and 2020 that we didn't saw this movement. We saw like a parabolic movement. The Bitcoin went down, provide a pullback, and then went straight up. That was the difference between 2016 and 2020. And I'm also looking for the same pattern as 2020 because the cycles nowadays have been really fast. I mean, not heavy, are being really fast. It's not like before. Why? Because the amount of liquidity that central banks and the government have been injecting into the economy. So the cycles are being faster. So I'm looking for a parabolic movement such as 2020, and not like a more healthy uptrend movement as 2016. Okay, but I'm looking for a rejection at 50,500. 505. And I wish, because this is pure speculative. I'm not looking for flow. I'm just looking for graph. But my speculation is to see a flush to back test 48, 46K, and then jump back up. Okay? Fine? So, Mara is open with a gap up. We have a resistance over here now at 30. But if you consider, because this was like a pivot, that, I mean, tried to be a pivot since we lost, so maybe, we will see sellers around 29.17 and try to break Mara back down at 27.14 to backtest EMA 8. You'll be nice if you see 27.14 holding, further sell pressure, okay? Or at least close the gap at 27 and go back up, okay? That's levels that you guys need to monitor. 27.14 EMA 8 and 27 close the gap. And the major support 25.90. Why? Because 25.90 is the monthly pivot. Let me put in the monthly graph, and you guys you see here. So this is the pivot. So February 2024 pivot monthly. So bullish, really bullish if you see 25.9 holding further pressure. Back test the pivot and going back up. Okay, so pay attention also in those levels, especially 25.9. Okay, those are the levels for Mara that you guys need to looking for. And also I'm looking for the continuation of this formation, the cupping handle. Okay, the same one that I'm looking for Bitcoin. Okay, guys, I'm done. Let's check the DXY. The DXY, I just changed the inflection point. So basically the DXY is trading above the inflection point. Okay, the inflection point per the annual graph is 103.6061. Okay, of course we have a possibility to see head and shoulder. Okay, head and shoulder. Okay, so far I'm wishing, of course, because it's a graphic perspective, should not break 104.633. Okay, that was this top, that was the left side of the shoulder. So to see like a rejection over here to make like a formation of the head and shoulder, because if you break 104.663, the DXY tend to go up and consequently affected the risk assets. The major support, because you'll be the necklace, it will be 99.578. Okay, that was also 2023 bottom. Okay, so the DXY, even the graphic is not so bullish, but you still have like in a trend. Of course, somebody could you consider this, I don't know, like not only head and shoulder. So head and shoulder. So anyway, we could see this spike, especially because you have funk in 2 weeks by now. I don't know what they will do, but the market still a plenty of liquidity. A plenty of liquidity means weakness in the XY, weakness in US dollar. Okay, consequently, could you bring back down? But so far, the support, the inflection point, and the XY is trading above is 103.661. Okay, the 10x didn't open, so the support is 4.101. If you break this down, it's supposed to be back test the EMA 200, and usually is where holds the 10x. But the 10x is much more bearish than the DXY. Note that you also have head and shoulder, okay, head and shoulder. Looks like they already built a daily graph pivot, okay. So the tendency for the 10x, in my humble opinion, is to go down. Means recession. Means recession. Also, strong dollar means recession, right? But remember, they are not trying to control inflation. That's a really bullshit, because they have been injecting money, liquidity into the economy. Just to let you guys know, just go back to the closed group and check the last minute's notes that Funk provided to us. Guys, I'm done by now. So we review the levels. The structure so far is still the same. The Bitcoin I already give you guys an overview. 65,505. That's the weekly pivot is a major resistance and a possibility to see a rejection inform a cup and handle. So Mara, pay attention in the levels 27.14, 27 and 25.9. So go back test 25.9 and hold and going back up is totally bullish. It's totally bullish because it's the monthly pivot. But guys, take care, enjoy your day, pay attention in the levels. For those that you will play zero DTE, be careful, because the lower volatility environment, volatility being suppressed, so dealers could use this week, especially because we don't have any economic events, right, in the agenda. So they could use this week to burn premium. Guys, take care.